roads have traveled, many doors have closed behind. But in my dreams I walk in courage to face the world. You've gotta have faith and hope in mankind. Love is on your side. It's time for you to shine.
In the United Kingdom, United States and Australia, there are more women than men that are deciding to venture into the world of self-employment.
I'm Dani and this is Desmore Nero. Today we're talking to Shar Moore, a woman who has founded several successful businesses across the world. Shar was born in Thailand, has Indian heritage, was raised in Australia and lived in the Middle East. This is her untold story. Welcome, Shar. What a mouthful that was.
It was. Thank you. Thank
everywhere.
you for having me.
That's a pleasure. Can you tell me, does having such a diverse multicultural background, how do I put this, has it enabled you to adapt more easily to life circumstances?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think having that multicultural background and having all the different cultures and upbringings and, you know, restrictions, I guess, with each of those cultures enables me to sort of interact differently, quite differently with different people that I meet and different circumstances, and also opened my mind to how another person might react to something rather than just having a tunnel vision.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And your first successful business was a spa you opened in Abu Dhabi.
That's
what
right.
was that experience like for you, especially opening a spa in Abu Dhabi?
We all have that reaction.
We all have that reaction.
Yes, it's a little bit different. So we were travelling at the time. We'd been overseas for 4 years, and we'd been in Thailand, moved to the Middle East, and opening the spa or any business in the UAE is quite an eye-opener. So when you first land in the UAE, so anyone that's been there or overseas to Dubai especially, the population is around sort of 70% Westerners. However, when you actually have a business, you realise how much the culture comes into play and actually does take effect. So, you know, at first scene, when you walk around, about 70% of the population are Westerners. So you go to the pub or go to shopping centres, you see a lot of white faces. But when you actually open your business, you realise how much of the Arabic culture is still very much ingrained there. So it was quite challenging, and it wasn't one of those just, you know, go down, register a company name like it is here in Australia, get a trade name and get things started. You actually need to have the support of a local and either have them sponsor you or be a 51% partner. So that's a bit of a sort of shock to the system a little bit at the start to realise that you can't actually have that business by yourself. If you do want to have it 100% by yourself, you do need to pay a lot of money to a local to actually sort of, I guess, sponsor you in a way that they are protecting what you're doing so that it protects the culture of the Middle East. So it is a little bit foreign there. It had its own challenges, but it's like anything. If you really want to do it, you will. Yeah. And you find a way. Definitely. So it was great, very worthwhile.
And what inspired you to start your business? What was your motivation?
So I guess living in the Middle East, a lot of families that go there, the husband sort of, normally it's the husband's work that takes them there, and they have a contract for a few years. So the husband will go off to the new job, get settled, and he's happy. Kids will go off to the international schools and they get settled and make friends because a lot of the other kids are from the same country. So they go off and they're fine. And what I found was a lot of the wives were sitting at home going, right, now what? All the boxes are unpacked, the candles are lit, the dog and cat are in the backyard, they're settled. What am I going to do? So I realised that there wasn't really a place like an Asian sanctuary there for women to escape. And the Middle East is fantastic. But after a first sort of few weeks, there's only so much you can go out and buy designer clothing at duty-free prices, and so many times you can go to lunch and watch movies and, you know, do all of that stuff. After that novelty wears off and the sort of dust settles, so to speak, what do you do? And the climate over there is quite harsh, so the heat is really hard on your body and your skin, and the sand, the dust storms that they have a lot of. It is actually quite tough on the skin, and people age very fast.
It's a dry heat, isn't it?
It is, and they age quite quickly over there because of that. So in the heat of summer, it can get up to 50 degrees. So when you walk from your air-conditioned home to your air-conditioned car, you can sweat just in those first few seconds. And I realised that it was quite lonely because you are away from family and friends.
Yeah.
So how do you get to meet people? If your kids are at that older stage where you don't walk them into school, like when they're little, you walk them in, you meet the other mums.
So true.
If they're older and it's like kiss and drop mum or park around the corner because the kids are so embarrassed to get dropped off by mummy.
Yeah.
So you don't actually pass anybody. So I wanted to create a one-stop shop for women to escape and come to a location where they could meet other like-minded people,
I love that.
look after their body, look after their wellness, exercise, and have a one-stop pamper place. So it was
good.
all under one roof. It was 18 rooms.
Did you run that idea by some of the Western women over there at the time saying, if I was to do this, would you like it? Would you come on board?
That's a really good question. And I did actually mention it to some of the mums at the school, and do you know what they said? You're nuts, Shar. You're crazy. And they ended up actually pointing the finger at me as I did, because my daughter was still little, so I was lucky enough to be able to walk her in. And I could see people talking in the corner going, there's that crazy woman who's opening a spa off the island of Abu Dhabi in a dead-end street where no one's going to find her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was interesting that a bit of that tall poppy sort of culture slipped in. And I just knew in my heart, that if I was feeling this way, there must be other mums out there that are feeling isolated and want this. So I just head down, bottom up, 8 months, and renovated this beautiful villa and turned it into the spa that it was. And do you know what was interesting? Within 6 months of opening, with no money spent on marketing, just me talking to people, going out telling people it was open, within 6 months of opening we were fully booked 7 days a week. And it was funny then when I went back to school, these ladies that were off there talking before, Shar, it's my birthday, Shar, do you need a model? Shar, do you need this? They ended up joining the spa and being members, and
You hear that all the time.
tables
don't you?
turned.
So what was the key factor in your success? Because you're very driven, very successful, and when some of the mums made the comments about, no, it's pretty crazy to be doing that. Did that fuel your fire and you thought,
I'm one of these people, and that's a great question, Des. I'm one of these people that go, if someone says you can't do it, I'm like, watch me.
I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. That just fuels me to go, why? Is it something you're thinking of? A bit of competitive nature. But the thing that actually fueled me was to provide a better experience for people living away from their family and friends.
Nice.
Because I did meet we lived in Dubai for the first year before we moved to Abu Dhabi, and I met some mums who were really struggling. And it was causing conflict in the relationship, was causing conflict in the marriage, because she would sit at home all day, not go out because of heat, driving on the wrong side of the road, especially if you're from Australia or UK or somewhere, you have to drive on the other side of the road. And they don't know anyone, the heat's tough, traffic's terrible, you're on the wrong side of the road, the driving's a bit erratic. They would sit at home and basically cry all day, Skyping family back home. The husband would get home, it's like, I want to go home. And so the husband was getting stressed, it was affecting the job. And I saw this unfold and I thought there has to be a better way.
There has
to be a better way.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, and there has to be a better way. When we return, we'll learn of Shar's other business ventures as we hear more of her untold story. Don't go anywhere.